Welcome back. White House border czar Tom Homan is promising to flood the zone with ICE officers at work sites across the country as protests against ICE's immigration raids continue. It's already setting off a whole new wave of panic for small businesses. In fact, one roofing company owner in Florida told our local affiliate NBC6 that ICE detained a third of his workers, apprehending them when they were on their way to a roofing job. I want to bring in George Carrillo, CEO and co-founder of the Hispanic Construction Council. George, that NBC6 reporting that those Nicaraguan roofers are now in jail, even though they were all here in the U.S. legally. What's your reaction to this, and can your organization do anything to help?
So I think that these policies are just absolutely ridiculous. The president, when he came into office, said that he was going to go after criminals, and that's not what he's doing. It seems that this is more about a numbers game, and so now he has to go after the low-hanging fruit, which is the hardworking immigrants that provide us with the quality of life. And for our organization, we're asking to work with members of Congress and with the president. We say, great job with securing the border, but we need to continue these conversations. We've actually developed a policy called Build America Stronger, and we've presented that to every single member of Congress this week. And we want to work hand in hand with this administration to create a stable workforce for the undocumented immigrants that we have here in this country.
It does seem like someone has spoken to Trump about what the economic outgrowth of this kind of a sweeping immigration policy could be, because we've seen him kind of openly muse about the fact that farm workers in California, that hospitality workers are such a part of the fabric of that economic community there. Do you think, based on that, based on the conversations you've had on Capitol Hill, that there's any possibility to curtail the sweeping nature of this deportation plan?
That's what we're hoping. We're hoping that the president understands that there's going to be an economic downturn to his decisions, and it's going to be the American people that are going to be pushing back. We have a midterm election coming up, and the people will be voting for a different type of government if this administration and this Congress doesn't find a way to help us secure the workforce. Look, we're 500,000 workers short right now in the construction industry today. We project through our national study that that's going to increase to 1.3 million within the next 5 years if we don't slow down these deportation tactics. And that's going to be devastating for construction jobs, building new homes, and the critical infrastructure that we all use every day. We can very much look like a third world country if we don't stabilize this construction workforce.
And you would imagine Trump, as a real estate developer, if he's listening to this or hearing that kind of a message, it's something that might be resonant. But then I also think there's the personal toll that we often hear about, the chilling effect within these communities. I mean, you even told NPR you carry your passport around, even as a former Marine and police officer, in case ICE stops you. For people at home, can you briefly talk us through the process of having to make sure that you can prove who you are?
Well, I think this is very unique for people that have brown skin in America today.
Yeah.
That even though we are, like myself, American citizens, former Marine, sheriff, deputy, that we are having to have these conversations because of the tactics that we're seeing ICE agents take. Again, they're not going after criminals. They're going after hardworking individuals. And in that process, they're scooping up a lot of people, even American citizens. And so these are the conversations that we're having at our dinner table currently right now as we speak, because for any other American, when have you had to prove just going to school or going to work that you are a citizen of this country? So for many of us, I ask myself, how do I prove that? Well, that means now I have to start carrying my passport. I have to have good explanation for the tattoos that I have on my body. One is a U.S. Marine Corps tattoo in Old English. Another one is of my police badge. And that I don't want anyone that's inexperienced in ICE to think that that represents some sort of criminal organization when the only thing that I belong to is this country.
George Carrillo, you're speaking to a fear that is really real for a lot of people there. I thank you for coming on and sharing it with us.